All right, so I switched over. I switched over. So uh, let me see if I can get this put into the rack. So wouldn't that be cool? So all the stuff, all the stuff you're seeing is so we learned another thing, Matt. You can switch phones. You can switch phones in the middle of a live stream and go from one phone to another. That's pretty cool. Boy, we stomping with the big dogs today. We learning everything. We're like Elon Musk today. I'll tell you, I don't like the picture on this camera. I don't necessarily like the picture. We learning all kinds of stuff. Oh boy. Mike asked me last. Oh boy. So. Oh boy. Yeah, this phone. This phone doesn't have as good a picture. Yeah, this phone. So. I love Asia. Asia calls me cutie. Asia's like, hey, cutie. And yeah, we got it popping. I'll tell you. Daggone. You know, we could take over. We could run our own country, Matt. Let's get a country. Let's buy some land and make up a country, and we can run a country. You know, let's scrape up some money and buy one of those little islands that are for sale, and we can call it Mattistan or something like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can buy into Gaza. You can buy timeshares in Gaza. So yeah, let's buy part of Gaza. The Mediterranean of the this cord is giving me a hard time. We could buy Gaza and I would want to have a t-shirt company. I've always wanted to have a t-shirt business. And Chris from Global Rapture Watchers wants to have a coffee shop with Cinnabons. I like Chris. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's very circumspect. And people like Leanne Terubiates, she's like, Pop, how dare you? How dare you make your funny videos on a serious channel? And I've tried to explain to people it's to keep the channel alive. Let me get Pedro. So I'm going to try and get Pedro without waking up Ali, because Ali always tries to bite me. And yeah. Pedro, Matt wants to say hi. Say hi to Matt, Pedro. Hey, Matt, how you doing? What's up, Pop? Now, Pedro, you know I'm not really your dad, right? I'm not really your dad. I love Pedro. Katrina and Terry sent me the stuffed animals. My parents, when I was 11 years old, they sent me away to a learning camp and took all my stuffed animals and threw them out. So Ollie's waking up. We woke up Ollie. Blasted. What is being up, Mr. Ville? Ollie, I've told you 1,000 times. My name is Will. 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 I'm being saying it correctly. Your name is being the Ville. Ollie, it's Will. Will. Okay, Mr. Ville. Daggone it. I knew you were going to do that. I just can't trust you. I can't trust you, man. Get back over there with Pedro. I hate waking up Ali because of that, man. So, do I have a rubber doll? No. Do you have a rubber doll? Why does whether it's rubber make any difference? Liam Johnson, what's up, Liam? So, Liam always reminds me of that actor that was in that movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West. I thought that movie was funny as smack. Oh, we haven't done Poop Like a Champion. That's right. I haven't fulfilled my obligation. All right. Now, you realize there's nobody there, right? There's nobody there. This is a spoof for all of you that are uptight. This is a spoof, all right? So, another commercial. What do you mean I got to do another commercial? I'm doing a live stream. Why have I got to do another? I just did. Just give it to me. All right, fam. This is for Poop Like a Champion. 23 grams of fiber. It's like eating a telephone pole. If you're backed up like LAX on a Thanksgiving holiday, this is what you need. 9 ounces of Poop Like a Champion. Oh, boy. It comes in 3 flavors, chocolate, cinnamon, and original. Oh, my goodness. It used to be $9 a box. Now it's $14 because of Bidenomics and the residual of Bidenomics, but it's worth it. And like I said, oh, gosh, a box, how many ounces? 9 ounces, weighs almost as much as my anorexic sister. So don't forget, Poop Like a Champion, and tell them Pop Pop sent you. So, oops. The fly swatter commercial. Okay. All right. Treasy. All right. Fly swatter commercial, take 1. Another commercial. I just did the Poop Like a Champion. I got to do 2 in 1. Why? Just give it to me. All right, fam. This is for a fly swatter. What am I going to tell people about a fly swatter? Is it a magic fly swatter? Is it a Harry Potter fly swatter? Can I do magic with it? Yeah, okay, I read about it. All right, fam. This is for a Treasy fly swatter. Wow. Wow. You get 3 of them in the box, $9.99 on Amazon. It's made out of real leather, okay? And real steel. Ow. Built like a Buick, okay? So next time your worthless husband comes home with lipstick on his collar and he smells like cheap perfume, and he says, honey, I'm late, you smack him and you tell him, don't call me honey, you call me ma'am. You call me ma'am. $9.99 on Amazon. Tell him Pop Pop sent you. Okay. Dude, pee like a horse commercial. I don't know what you mean by the pee like a horse commercial. I need to get some of these fly swatters. They're nice, man. They're nice. Reminds me of my dad. Wah! Wah! Yeah. You know why they put holes in it? They put holes in it so when you whack, it doesn't lose velocity. And the reason that I will say that is back in my day, when you got punished with a piece of wood, and the wood had a hole in the middle so that when they whacked you on the butt, it would pop the skin up the hole and pinch the skin. And that's why the paddle boards have a hole in it. It's so when you smack the kid, the skin pops up in the hole and causes even more agony. So that's from back in my day. And you wonder why so many people turned up to be all the bad stuff, like politicians and lawyers and all that other crap. So, yeah. I just sent, yeah, I got a Gammo. I got a Gammo. You can't show it on channel because that'll get the channel blocked. But I've always slept with the piece by my side because when I was a kid, my first rifle I got when I was 11 years old, and my parents freaked out. My grandfather bought it for me. And back then they had a junior rifle for children. It was a real rifle. It was a junior rifle for children. I wonder if they still sell them. Do they, Matt? Child's junior rifle. Oh, wow. What is a good starter rifle? What is a good starter rifle for a 10-year-old? It says a Ruger 1022 is a youth starter rifle. It's light, it's versatile, and it will grow with your child. I'm not making that up. It's a 1022. So that sounds like an over and under. It sounds like a 10 gauge with the 22. It sounds like an over and under. And the child will use it forever. No doubt. I'm a fan of it customized anyway, and the best bang for the buck. And that article is July 9th, 2023. So you've seen it here first, folks. Get your 10-year-old child a Ruger 1022 junior rifle. Wow. So I think you could actually, I think back in my day, you could take it for show and tell to school. It says literally the best bang for your buck, for your child. And then get them a drum set too. Get them a Ruger 1020 and a drum set. and you'll have the whole mess. You'll have the whole thing. So, yeah. In any case, when I was out on my own at 15 years old, sleeping under garbage trucks in the dirt, a drum set from North Korea. I wonder what North Korea is not going to sell us anymore. France isn't going to sell us wine or jelly anymore. English, what are the English? The English said they're cutting us off from something. What did the English say? The English said they're not giving us something now. It's like crumpets or something. English, Britain, UK boycotting America. So, tea. Wow, you're right, Matt. It says tea. We're right back to the Boston Tea Party. Wow. Isn't that neat? England's not going to send us any more tea. Now, if we get boycotted out of toilet paper and coffee, you're going to see a real bad side of Pop Pop. If there's no toilet paper or diapers or coffee, you're going to see a real crucial side of Pop Pop. I'm not kidding. So, or baby wipes. So, I'm just putting it out there, world. You better make sure. Oh, yeah, and Dunkin' Donuts, too. But, there was a recall on Dunkin' Donuts because the eggs had flu and a lot of people got sick with listeria. So, Christine. Yeah, so when I worked at Laurel Dodge, there was a Dodge Charger, and the finance guy, Steve, named it Christine. And so when I drove Christine, man, that little 6-cylinder would blast away, and I slapstick drove it, and man, we got along like two peas in a pod. And so I gave Christine back to the dealership when the mileage got too high, and they didn't want any more mileage because that 2.7 was what was called a grenade motor, because the water pump was on the inside of the motor. And when the water pump would leak, it would emulsify the oil and the motor would blow up. So Chrysler did not tell the customers that. So if you have a Chrysler 2.7, they will try and blame the customer for not changing the oil enough. It has nothing to do with that. The water pump is on the inside of the block, and when the water pump starts to leak at 75,000 miles, the water goes into the oil and the motor blows up. So that's a Chrysler 2.7. It's called a grenade motor. The reason they made the motor that way is with no push rods, the motor can be redlined at a much higher rate. You can redline that motor at like $6,000 and with no problem. And then all of a sudden it blows up on you. But then you just get another $10,000 motor. So people came and looked at Christine, and if Christine didn't like the person, she wouldn't start, or she wouldn't unlock her doors, or she made this terrible rotten, this hay smell like rotten hay. Now, when I would get into Christine had this beautiful, fresh linen smell. Christine really loved me. So, in any case, I don't know whether this was a joke. All right, I'm putting this out there to you, fam. All right. this probably may have been a joke that was played on me, okay? One day I washed Christine and I waxed her, okay? And I did not put Armor All on her grill. That's important. So 15 feet away was this beautiful gold Chevy Impala, 2004 Chevy Impala. Wow. Wow. 15 feet ahead of Christine. So I'm playing music and I'm washing the Impala and I'm waxing the back of the Impala, okay? And I'm getting ready to put the Armor All on the bumper of the Impala. I lean over. This is no joke. I lean over, step back, and I bump into Christine. And Christine has gone from being 10 or 15 feet behind the Impala to being 2 feet behind the Impala. And I got this feeling that Christine was angry because I had Armor All the Impala before I Armor All the grill on Christine. And I looked around the dealership, nobody was there. I looked around the dealership, nobody was inside the dealership at the time, no customers, no Steve, nobody, no boss. He was at the other dealership, but Christine went from being 15 feet behind the Impala to being 2 feet behind the Impala. And so I stopped Armor Alling the Impala and I sat on the bumper of the Impala, turned around and started to detail Christine's grill with the Armor All, looking all around to see if somebody was going around the corner that had started Christine and moved it up. Nobody was around. I never to this day could figure out how Christine went from being 15 feet behind me to almost squishing me into the back of the Impala. And I haven't talked about that. I think very probably somebody played a prank. I'm not sure. But Christine was a very creepy Charger. And like I said, when I got in her, it smelled beautiful. She ran beautiful. I waxed her. I loved on her, gave her premium gas. Customers that came and said something bad about Christine, she either would not start, she would not unlock, or if they got inside of her, she smelled bad, like rotten hay. Can't figure that out for the life of me. I've heard that some things can be demon possessed. Some things like a mask or a statue or a lamp. So I have no idea. I have no idea whether Christine actually had a demon, but this truck driver bought Christine, and he called me up and told me how much he loved Christine and what a wonderful car it was back to him. So the truck driver loved Christine, his kids loved Christine, and the wife hated Christine. The truck driver loved Christine, his wife hated Christine. Just saying. And I had a customer who bought a brand new Dodge SUV, and he always talked bad about it, and he always had problems with it. And I told him, I said, stop saying bad things about the car. You're speaking a curse over your car. And as soon as he stopped doing that, no more problems. So I attribute that more to the power of the word, of the spoken word, like the people that I lived with who were going to sell their house. And for weeks on end, they said, well, the only thing now is for the water heater to go bad. And sure enough, before they could get the house sold, the water heater went bad, and it almost burnt the house down. So, another commercial. What are you talking about? I just did two commercials. Two commercials, and you want me to do another one? Just give it to me. All right. Fam, this is for Snyder's of Hanover twisted pretzels. They don't have salt. They won't make your blood pressure go up. It's a big sour cream and onion flavor. America's Pretzel Bakery since 1909. And the net weight is 12 ounces. Not quite a pound like you used to get. That's Bidenomics in force. Oh boy. The big flavor. Crispy, crunchy. Set your taste buds spinning. 12 ounces, weighs almost as much as my anorexic sister. Only $3.49 on Amazon. Let's try one of these puppies out. Oh boy. A live demonstration. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Crispy, crunchy. That is good. Snyder's of Hanover. And I think it's only available on the East Coast. Wow. You can't just eat just one. Yum, 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 yum. You got to get these, fam, off Amazon. But tell them Pop sent you. All right, so we good? Are you satisfied? All right, good. All right. All right, so you say very true, I believe 100% of what you say matters. It affects everything, and either negative or positive. The last company that I went to work for was an African-American hauling company, trash hauler. The owner looked like Michael Vick, one of the most handsome black men I'd ever seen. Handsome, articulate, funny. But he said, he leaned to me at lunch and he said, Wheel, I K-I-L-L, anybody mess with my money. So I was working for another company. The trucks had broken down. We were bankrupt. And I worried about losing customers because we couldn't pick the trash up. We were actually dumpster diving. The boss's son and I would hop into a dumpster and clean it out by hand in order to keep the customers. I didn't want to keep doing that. So I got an epiphany. I said, well, I'll call this guy down in Washington and I'll just sell my boss's company and then we can go do something else. So I called the guy up and I said, hey, Bruce, this is so-and-so. I want to make a deal with you. You pick up our trash. We bill the customer. Nobody knows the difference. And I'll pay you. They pay me, I pay you until we work something out. Hey, Wheel, come down, talk to me, Wheel. So I meet with him at Marriott on Ivy Lane. like I said, very handsome, articulate, looks like Michael Vick, the football player, three-piece suit with a golf hat with the fluffy ball. So my little voice is like, Will, don't laugh at the man, you'll blow the deal. So he gets a cheeseburger and fries and Coke, and he's only like 35 years old, telling me he's got chest pain. And I get water with lemon, garlic toast, and salad with oil and vinegar. And he leans forward and he goes, hey, Will, I know you didn't get all swole up eating salad and drinking water. And I told him, I said, no, we're talking business. The food is secondary. I wanted spaghetti, but I'm not getting it on my beard and my shirt. Who cares about the food? Let's get the deal done, as Donald says. So I come back to Laurel, and I tell my boss, who wanted to be a pastor, I said, I think I just sold your company. He goes back down with his son, and they sign the deal, and they get it done, and the other company absorbs us, done and done. The reason for that was this one guy didn't like his garbage truck, so he never put oil in the motor. And after working a 16-hour day, I find out that he has locked up the engine in the middle of Brockbridge Road in Laurel during this immense pouring down rain. And I need to go recover the truck out of the intersection. So I get down there. I don't have money for a tow truck. So I'm thinking to myself, rain. The road will be slick. I can throw a chain around the truck and drag it back to the yard. So I get a roll-off truck and I put a chain around the front of the front end truck, and it's pouring down rain, and I'm dragging the front end truck back to the yard. I'm dragging the front end truck back to the yard, and the air pressure goes down on the other truck. And so the brakes automatically come on about a block away from the yard. And I'm mad. I'm like, sucker, you coming into the yard. And so I'm dragging the other truck, and the other truck is like a horse that doesn't want to be bridled. It's going, shuddering its way towards the yard. And I'm spinning the tires of the roll-off truck, and steam's coming off the tires. And I'm like, sucker, you coming into the yard. And I pull these ruts into the yard in the gravel and mess the yard up. And then I turn the truck off, go into my office to lie down for a few minutes on my leather sofa. So the secretary, leaves for the night. She turns on the alarm, and 2:30 in the morning, nature calls. I sit up on my sofa, and the motion sets off the alarm. No. 2 reasons I didn't make the draft. First off, being a male hermaphrodite with no narc like other men, I would not have been drafted. But the good Lord spared me that embarrassment, because Jimmy Carter was president, and he did away with the draft right when I would have been called in for a very embarrassing physical. Now, had I gone for a physical, they would have given me an F. So I would have gone through life with that stigma of being refused for an Army physical because of not having the necessary equipment like a normal man. being a bearded lady. So, yeah. So, and many people, like I said, have told me that it's God's punishment and I'm on my way to hell automatically for not having a wag. So, but my parents were too old to have a healthy child. And I didn't know I was different until orientation day at junior high school when I had to undress with the boys. I don't say other boys because I'm not a boy. I had to undress and I was like, uh-oh, everybody else has got a wag and I don't. I'm like a Ken doll down south, you know? So everybody else can go standing up. I got to sit down like an old woman. And of course, they laughed at me and they said, well, didn't you forget to grow one or aren't you forgetting your gym equipment and all of that? So it's not that unusual. It's like one baby in 1,000 or one baby in 3,000. And it happens more and more often because of plastic. Plastic, eating out of plastic hurries that along because of the estrogens. You never want to use plastic in a microwave. Always heat your food in a glass bowl. What's up, Bright? Percentage of hermaphrodite.
According to OHCHR, experts estimate that up to 1.7% of the population are born with intersex traits. Intersex people may have any gender identity or sexual orientation.
Okay, so 1.7 of the population that you don't know about are intersexed. And for some reason, I'm hairy as all get out, but I have a female venous system. My veins, I don't have veins and arteries popped up on my arm like a normal man. My venous system is definitely female. The doctor said that I'm an XXY chromosome. XXY chromosome. That's where a male is born with an extra X chromosome. So, XXY is a genetic condition that occurs in males, and it's called Klinefelter syndrome. I remember this because as a child, my dentist was Dr. Klingelhofer. So I had Dr. Klingelhofer as my dentist and Klinefelter syndrome, which is XXY. And this condition is caused by a random error in cell division that happens when a parent's reproductive cells are being formed. It causes a problem with development and fertility. Some men have no symptoms and never know that they have it, okay? So back in the 1950s, if my parents had made an issue of it, they would have put me away in an asylum, pushed me into a room, locked the door, and fed me through the door on a TV tray. So I didn't find out about it until I went to junior high school and had to undress with the boys. And I got beat up and mean stuff like the boys took warm chocolate milk and they dumped it in my locker onto my clothes. So I had to go back to class wearing my smelly gym clothes and being mocked by the whole school. So what I did was, rather than going to the next school, I told my parents, I said, I don't want to go to the rich kids' school because I don't have a Lincoln or a Cadillac. I want to go to the hippie school on the other side of town. So I had a whole new group of kids, and hopefully nobody would go from one school to the other and tell on me. So I was fine, and I didn't take gym class in the next high school. I took 2 science and biology courses because I told them I wanted to be an electrical engineer, and I bullshitted my way. I bullshitted my way with everybody, my parents and the school, and that's how I got through that. But one doctor said I have my own twin sister inside my body, and once a month, all of the parts try to work things out, and then it tears apart, and I have bleeding. And what I call my period, and I have to use maxi pads. It's horrendously painful. It's painful. It's embarrassing. I've even had to use that stuff, Midol, for periods. And God bless Raj. I said, Raj, poor Raj. He goes out in the cold and the rain, and he will say, I'm not doing this for you again now, just so that you know that. I'm not doing this again for you. No, 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 no. I'm not doing this, because maybe he went to the store and he didn't know what Midol was. And the cashier probably did the trick of asking for the price on the maxi pads and the Midol. I don't know. Maybe they embarrassed him, and then he had to explain it was for his best friend who he thought was a guy. And I never told him that I'm a bearded lady. The one girl at the hotel knew. She knew. And God bless her, she didn't tell anybody. My sister knows, and she hasn't told anybody. But now the whole world knows, because it has to be discussed that there are 1.7% of the population that are ambiguous and are hiding out, particularly with the new administration. So, some boys, I never knew this, some boys have even more than 2 X chromosomes. Some have 3 or 4, which increases the risk of other symptoms like heart disease and all. And this one doctor said I was 1 chromosome away from Down syndrome. And so, in any case, I was in this hospital in Brookville, Maryland, which I will not name. It was the dirtiest hospital I've ever been in, and my heart had slowed down and would not beat fast. I was working 2 jobs and back at school. I was working 2 jobs and going back to school, and my heart slowed down from 2 jobs of carrying trash like a pack mule and going to school at night, okay? Nobody gave me anything. My parents, nothing. They didn't even let me stay at their precious house and go to school. Okay. I went to school working 2 garbage jobs and sleeping under garbage trucks and in the back of garbage trucks. And one night I slept on top of a garbage truck because I was underneath the garbage truck and this guy threw a bunch of firecrackers in on me at 2 o'clock in the morning, thought that was the funniest thing. So I put a beach chair on top of the garbage truck with the beach towel and slept underneath the stars. And then in the morning, the guys started the truck up and drove around the yard, haul, 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 with me on top of the truck screaming, almost falling off and almost breaking my leg. They thought that was hysterical. Haul, haul, haul. So I was at the dirtiest hospital in Maryland, in Brookville, Maryland, and I had all of these needles and tubes in me. And Dr. Wolf or Dr. Fox, whatever his name is, he goes around to the corner and he tells the nurses, "You'll never guess what we have here. We got a Barbie doll." And they're all laughing around the corner. And he comes around and he's doing the shuck thing. You know, he can't hold back a laugh. So I was so embarrassed. I took all the needles and tubes and ripped them out of my arm, took all of the electrodes off of my chest and threw them on the bed, sat up and put on my cowboy boots, pulled up my jeans and put on a jacket and walked out of the hospital, got into my enormous Galaxy 500. That was my favorite car to buy when I was a kid, a Galaxy 500. So I got into the Galaxy 500 and never looked back. I was extremely embarrassed and hurt. I could have sued the doctor. I could have sued the hospital, but I didn't because I didn't want to tell a bunch of lawyers that I was a hermaphrodite with no jingle jangle lingle like a normal guy. I didn't want to go through that embarrassment. So I just let things go. So that was my B-movie life. And the child abuse was very good for me because I learned at a very early age to be on my own and keep my own counsel, as it were, and to be self-sufficient. Okay. So, but like I said, yeah, church people. All right, brother, if you want a tip, hang on by the door. I'll give you a tip.